Hey y'all, Jamie here, back with another episode of Milk, Honey, and Mayhem. How's everybody been doing? Y'all enjoying this gorgeous spring weather? I know I sure am. The flowers are all showing out, the hummingbirds and lightning bugs are filling up the sky, and it is River 30, which is my absolute favorite pastime, is being on the river. This year, I'm not just hunting peace, quiet, and old bottles. I'm searching for a specific spot which has a bit of history that is so far back, it almost seems incomprehensible. So make sure you guys are subscribed so you don't miss that, because it will be the talk of the town. And while you're down there, go on and hit that thumbs up button for me. YouTube really likes that, and it'll help get me in the algorithm. So do your girl a favor, smash that like, please. Now, when it comes to change, people tend to get all fired up, especially in a small town. And that's what Giles County has going on as of late. The good old boy politics are in full swing, and that got me thinking about the time when our small town made it to the political big time. And it was a woman to boot. Now, a Google search will tell you that the first female vice presidential candidate was in 1984, when Geraldine Ferraro ran with Walter Mondale. But the truth is, women have been tossing their names in the hat for 100 years before that. The first woman to run as vice president of the United States was in 1884, when Marietta Stowe ran with Belva Ann Lockwood on the National Equal Rights Party ticket. Their platform was of equal rights for men and women, prohibition, equal divorce and marriage laws for the entire nation, and of course, an all-female ticket would be running on universal peace. With women's suffrage being the hot topic that it was, the pair got over 4,000 votes. She was nominated again in 1892, this time with Vera Woodhull. And this was a time before women could even vote, and a female-nominated all-female ticket was then, and apparently still is, out of reach. But that doesn't mean we won't keep trying. And I also want to just take a second to recognize Charlotta Spears Bass, who was the first woman of color nominated to be the Vice President of the United States in 1952 on the Progressive Party ticket. Now, neither of these women are the focus of this episode. I just appreciate a badass female taking up space. The particular badass female we're talking about today is Lena Buford Jones Springs. She was born on March 3rd, 1883, right here in Pulaski, Tennessee. The education she got here was decent, but she was starving for knowledge, so she enrolled in Sullins Female College in Bristol, Virginia. Now, most other women were in school to earn their misses, but not Lena. She was more focused on earning her master's. That didn't mean she wasn't destined to find love, though. After graduation, she moved back to Pulaski with Harry P. Wade wrapped around her finger. He put a ring on that finger too, but sadly, Harry would pass away after just a few years, on the day after Christmas in 1910 at only 30 years old. Not one to waller around in the sadness, Lena returned to Virginia, this time to continue her post-grad schooling in Roanoke at Virginia College. Now, she quickly worked her way up to be the chair of the English department at Queens College in North Carolina. Such was her life when she crossed paths with Colonel Leroy Springs. Now, Leroy, he was a pretty prominent guy in North Carolina. He owned the largest cotton mill in the world at one time, thousands of acres of cotton plantations to go along with it, a bank, and the L&N Railroad. By all accounts, he was a grumpy old geezer, but Lena saw something in him. Love did what it does, and in 1913, they were married at Lena's parents' house here on West Flower Street. The couple returned to South Carolina, where Lena became heavily involved in the suffrage movement, and when World War II broke out, the Red Cross. By 1920, she was the vice president of the South Carolina Equal Suffrage League, and it's said that she was over the moon to cast her vote for the Democratic Party that year. In 1922, she served her first term on the committee for the Democratic National Convention, which she would continue to do until 1928. But it was in 1924, after just 4 years of women having the right to vote, that Lena Springs became the first woman ever to be nominated for office by a man. When John Davis told her of the plan to put her name down, she was flabbergasted, saying, "It simply cannot be true, but it certainly is nice for all the good friends of mine to consider me worthy of such a compliment. Of course, I know it isn't a chance in the world of my being nominated. Just the same, I appreciate it very, very much." I like to think she got that humbleness from her hometown. She was indeed nominated that year in New York City, and her beauty and southern charm, according to one of the correspondents at the convention, caused the band, unprompted, to strike up the tune of "Oh, You Beautiful Doll." Even cowboy Will Rogers told her, "I am for you, even though that fact may spell defeat. As a matter of fact, I'm willing to consider you for the head of the ticket." That evening, during an interview with the Long Beach Telegraph, Lena said that her nomination was the first step towards putting a woman in public office, adding that the day is not very far off when a woman will be president of the United States. This statement apparently horrified her husband, who proclaimed, "That's the day I leave for another country." He went on to make several other similar remarks, which Lena tried to ignore. But being the classy woman she was, she simply said to the reporter, "You know, many men feel the same way. They would rather die than see a woman as the president. Yet a woman wouldn't make any more of a muddle of the job than a lot of the men have done." Then she kindred his ass with a pointed, "Would it, dear?" He reluctantly agreed, but followed up with a, "I refuse to be known as the husband of the President of the United States. You'll have to choose between the presidency and me." She never had to make that choice, although she did receive around 50 votes. Leroy should have had an extra helping of peas that night, but she managed to put up with his ornery self for another 7 years until he passed away. Lena took her fortune and spent the rest of her years at the Plaza Hotel in New York. That's where she passed away on May 8, 1942, at 59 years old. Her last wishes were to be buried at home next to her parents, Mary Buford and Thomas Merriweather Jones, and her true love, Harry Wade. The inscription on her tombstone reads, "Let it not be a death, but completeness. Let love melt into memory and pain into song." A fitting finale for a woman of first, I'd say. Lena Buford Jones Springs didn't leave behind any children, but she did leave one hell of a legacy. One that, as a Giles Countyan, I'm proud to pass on. When election time rolls around, let's all give a nod to Lena Springs when we cast our vote. And until next time, y'all be good.